All right, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining me. My name is Aaron. I am with Metro East Libertarians, and today we're going to talk about how you can make your communities better and make them, move them more in a libertarian direction. So, what we're going to do here is basically it's just going to be straight up tips on what you can do. So, first tip that I got for you right now is go to Claire Ball for Illinois and make a donation to Claire Ball's campaign. Those guys need money. They're going to run a great campaign. I assure you of that. If you were here last year, you know that Claire and her campaign team are awesome, and it's going to be great. And honestly, a lot of people may not think this right now with what's going on in the media and whatnot, but seriously, this is our year. We're going to make a major impact on the elections. We're building skills, building upon our experience from last time, building support. We're in a major upswing. I'm not just saying that. I'm seeing the figures and the way meetings are going and things like that. It's going to be really exciting this coming year. Okay, so number one, why do we want to do this, and why am I going the direction that I'm going? So first of all, you look at this story here. I believe this is back in 2013. It says right there on the image. There was a comptroller in Rockford that stole $53 million from the town. Now, thankfully, they got caught. But what I'm here to tell you is, in your town where you live, there's definitely something going on. Something's happening that is not good, is not very libertarian. People are abusing their positions. They're not running government efficiently, and I know we hate that word because those of us who believe that the government is organized violence. How can that run efficiently? Well, it really can't. It can never be good, so to speak. But even at that, there's people out there that are doing even worse than that. I've heard of townships that are running at 2-3 times the budget that neighboring townships are running on for their street department. So if that's going on in your area, that's something that you can find out. It's not as interesting as this story of $53 million being stolen, but it's still a problem. Okay, so that brings me to the first tip. Know the issues. Know what's going on in your communities, and who's doing what, and are there shady things happening, or maybe it's not even shady. I know I kind of started out on shady things, but maybe it's not even shady things, but it's just tax increases or budgetary, what we would consider poor monetary practices as libertarians. Now, how do you know the issues? Well, you go to your local meetings. That is where this stuff's happening. And it depends where you live, where the action's at. If you live in a really small town, maybe the township meetings aren't that exciting, or maybe there's not a ton going on. Maybe you're talking your county board meetings. But there's all kinds of these things. There's sanitary districts, and there's recreation districts, townships, county board, city councils, school board. School board's a big one. If you're a libertarian, you should be interested in what your school board's doing. Library board, why the library needs to be an elected entity, who knows? But library boards, just all of these things that are going on. All of these are opportunities. They post their meeting schedules online. You can always find out when they are. It's generally on a regular kind of schedule. Get down in there, see what's going on, and become familiar with what they're doing. Learn their budgets. Figure out who works there and who's doing what, who the elected officials are, and who you agree with in general. It'll be kind of in general. One thing that I've noticed with libertarians is when you go to one of these local meetings, you're going to see the people there, and you're going to try to pinpoint them and be like, oh, this guy is obviously in favor of higher taxes and spending, or this person is not in favor of that. Maybe I agree with them. But then when you see, you're going to disagree with them on some other issue. So it's not cut and dry. You're going to find that out very quickly. But it's fun. There's some really neat stuff going on in your local meetings. So get in there, know the issues, and become familiar with them. Now, second thing, start to network. If you go in there and the meeting is 100% empty, which I really hope it's not, okay, then you're not going to be able to do this. What should happen is you're going to go there, you're going to see other people, you're going to hear speakers from the floor. This is becoming a big thing in the last maybe 10 years, is that speakers from the floor will get up and they'll challenge whatever the board is on the things that they're doing, or bring up what they feel is important issues to them, okay? You're going to hear people use that time to address the board to say things maybe similar to what you're thinking, okay? So if especially if there's like a major tax increase coming up in the local entity, you're going to have people coming to the meeting saying, don't do this. We don't want you to do this. Okay, you want to keep track of who these people are. Figure out who they are, figure out what their issues are, what they're doing about it, and begin to network with these people. Okay, get to know them a little bit. I'm not saying, go hang out with them all the time, but get to know them. Figure out, maybe how you can get involved with them. Now, what's number 3? Okay. Now, the thing with this is you're going to run into, just like you can't paint the local board with one brush and say, this guy is definitely a Republican, or this guy is definitely, a progressive liberal, or, you can't really put these types of labels on people. It's funny, too, because everybody wants to label everybody, and then, as libertarians believe this and libertarians believe that. Well, you go to these meetings and you quickly figure out that you can't fit these people into a nice little box, which is the same thing you've probably been telling other people about yourself. But you're probably going to find that when you run into these people that are upset with what their local board is doing, they're not a libertarian, even though on that issue we agree with them basically 100%. Okay, so that's not your goal, is to go find a bunch of libertarians. I'm going to get to that. But your goal is, if they're against this tax increase and you're against this tax increase, well, on this issue, we're pulling the wagon in the same direction. Okay, so we can work together. Now, that part's important. So let's go ahead and move on to number 3, social media. Now, in my opinion, this is where this is one of the things that's hurting libertarians. We have number 3 here of social media as our number 1. Social media is easy to engage in. We have this idea that we're reaching a bunch of people with social media all the time. In reality, you're probably only reaching people who already agree with you. I know that I've had... It's kind of funny because I know like 2 or 3 people that I'm actually friends with have unfriended me on social media because... I think they're tired of seeing my political posts, which I find that unfortunate, but hey, I guess if I want to talk to that person, I'll call them on the telephone or use some other antiquated technology. But we tend to, in my opinion, again, we tend to put social media first. Social media is not first. Social media is a specific tool to be used for a specific purpose. Now, if you follow these types of steps, here's how we can use social media. Now, if you are already involved with a local chapter, your local chapter probably has a Facebook page, such as, East Jesus Libertarians, right? No offense to anybody who's a follower of Jesus. I am myself. I just like that term. Okay. That's not what I'm talking about. What I want you to do is post to that page, and hopefully the admins on that page are doing good work. What I want you to do on social media is start a new page. I want you to start a new page called something like, East Jesus Watchdogs, or, BFE, or Concerned Citizens of BFE, whatever. So when you do that, you're going to disassociate the term libertarian from the main thing that you're going to be posting on like this page, or if it's a Twitter account or whatever, Instagram. I don't know how you do Instagram with this kind of thing, but Google Plus, Google Plus is a lot of personal stuff. Anyway, you're going to start a page about concerned citizens of whatever municipality. Okay. And then you're going to post about issues in your community on that page. It's up to you if you kind of put a face to the page. It's best if you have a couple other people working with you on the page, but maybe not. Now, what this goes into, this is where I'm going with this, is that I've been saying for a while, I've been doing these live streams, and I've been encouraging other people to get involved in video. I know a couple of people that are going to get involved in doing some video content. It's really good. We have to control the narrative. We have the perspective. We have the greatest political ideology that's been passed down through the generations that we rely on. So we should use that ideology to control the narrative, right? People need to hear from us. Now, if you go and you say, oh, I'm with the Libertarian Party and I think we should do this, as soon as you said Libertarian Party, they shut down, okay? But again, when you go in and you say, hey, I was at that meeting and here's what they said and here's how it's going to affect your wallet today, well, you're just somebody that knows about the issue and you're bringing them information about it. They're going to be open to that, okay? So that's why I think we're going to do that way. Now, the thing is, I don't want to be dishonest about it. We're not misrepresenting anything. We're literally doing this in that way, in a sort of nonpartisan, activist kind of way, in an effort to make our communities better, whether or not we benefit from like a libertarian standpoint. Okay, I want to make that clear. We're not being fake. We're not trying to dupe anybody. None of that. Now, here's what I'm going to say about it. Back to knowing the issues, networking, and social media. Put all three of those together. My own personal experience. Here's what I'm going to say about all of those three steps, and then we'll get to number 4 here in a second. That's going to be the last one. Okay, what I have done is I've been going to city council meetings. I mean, I don't go to them on the reg, but I go to them when I hear something's going down, or just out of curiosity if I haven't been to one in a while. I'm also fortunate that the municipality that I live in posts the videos online. If they don't post them online and you think something really cool is there, man, take a camera in there. You're allowed to videotape the whole proceeding. You can get some interesting video there. Go in there and prepare ahead of time, speak about an issue, okay? That's going to let people get to know you. It's also going to let the board get to know you, and they may or may not like you, and, who knows. But people will come up to you later and say, hey, I'm on your side, or hey, I'm not on your side. Mostly it's going to be the positive people. I haven't had anybody come to me and say, I don't agree with you, you need to leave, or whatever. But get up there and speak, and if you can, get it on video. Get it on video. Network, use that speaking opportunity as a way to network with the other people. Or, if you're not ready to speak, I'm always nervous when I go to these boards to speak. If you're not ready to speak, do the opposite. Go to somebody and say, hey man, I heard you speak. I'm sympathetic with your viewpoint or whatever. Introduce yourself. You got to be, at some point, you got to talk to people. Then put the videos on your social media, right? And other activists, don't be selfish about it. Other activists too, put it on social media. Now, so I went down to the meetings and then I would download the video because again, it's just provided for me, which is beautiful. I download the video, I make a cut out of it of my own speech or maybe a couple other speeches. I'll put that on Metro East Libertarians, which is the page that we run. Then other libertarians see that. Hopefully they learn from it, which would be great. Hopefully they'll speak at their meetings too. But then we can take those same videos, we put them out there on the Concerned Citizens of X page. Okay, so that's good, and especially if you have some video of the city council people doing whatever. If you've been paying attention to this channel, you'll see that I'm doing just that. I'm putting out video of people's comments. Now, I kind of backed my way into this, but because I was making videos about the city council race this past spring, I was nicking videos off of one of this candidate's Facebook page. and I would take apart his comments because he was lying to people about how TIFF worked and different things like that. Because I was putting out that kind of content, I had a guy that knew me, kind of through some channels. I mean, we didn't really know each other directly, I don't think. But he said, hey, do you want to be an admin on this page? He already had this page set up. And it's a page called Concerned Citizens of Collinsville. And if you go look at it right now, you'll see there's like 1,500 people like that page. Now, I don't know if they all live in Collinsville, but it's a pretty popular page. And however they built it up before I even got involved, and then everybody else just kind of dropped out. Now I'm the only admin, so I got to find some other people to help me out with it. But the thing was, I was breaking down this city council candidates' videos, post them out on Metro East Libertarians, and then I'm posting them on this page too. So then the people are hearing, hey, I'm a libertarian, and here's my perspective on what this guy is saying. Okay, so then if they agree with me, maybe they become a little bit more sympathetic to libertarianism. Now the other thing is, so I was doing this while I was running for office, but I didn't actually have a campaign run because I was unopposed. But anyway, what I'm getting at is there's other issues along with the local issues that we can kind of sneak in there. Okay, now this, and it's not being dishonest, it's just sort of being in the driver's seat in the narrative. Because if you let other groups do this, then they're going to post, the stuff about their candidates on there. I absolutely guarantee it. They're going to say, hey, I know this is, concerned candidates of, or concerned citizens of X, but look at this state representative candidate. Do you agree with him? Or, here's this guy that gave this speech, which is good, man. People need to hear from candidates. I'm all for that. The thing is, are they ever going to post about our candidates? Probably not. Okay, so if we're in the driver's seat, we can say, hey, have you thought about this alternative? And it's a way to get our campaigns out there. Okay, so again, we're not being dishonest. And I also want to caution you, be super respectful. You're going to get trolls, which is great. There's a lot of stuff on trolls, helping your reach and everything. You're going to get trolls. Don't feed the trolls. Don't stoop to their level. Stay on the high road. Stay on message. Definitely represent yourself as a page that is out there to get the issues out, not engage in ad hominem. Okay. Now, recently I've called out the mayor in my area for engaging in ad hominem. I think it's extremely distasteful. And so if I'm going to call him out on it, I can't engage in it myself. Okay. Stay away from conjecture. Controversy is good. It gets attention. So you can engage in something maybe that's a little controversial, but I would really kind of play it safe with this. Because your average person out there that you run into at the grocery store, they're not going to like your page if it's extremely polarizing. They're not going to like your page if it's very, very one-sided and you're always saying, oh, Councilman X, hates puppies and all this kind of stuff. If it's that, nobody's going to engage with it. Okay, that said, last thing on social media. And I hope this has been helpful for you. These points that I'm making here, I think they're important. I think it's really going to help us. Last thing on social media. I highly recommend going out and getting some training on social media. Okay? There's training that you can get out there on these sites like Coursera, Udemy. I don't know all the sites. I like Udemy. That's where I get all my training from. A lot of times you can catch these things on sale for, $10, $20, $30, under $50. Okay? Man, that's a good investment. If you're going to be doing a lot with social media, if you're going to be working campaigns, learn a little bit about how to market on social media. Because really what we're doing with trying to promote our ideas, we are marketing. And if you listen to Larry Sharp and, okay, here's another tip that I don't actually have a graphic for. Leading Liberty with Jen Gray. Fantastic podcast. I think if you put Leading Liberty with Jen Gray into Google, you'll get to her website, which lists the podcast. She has a YouTube channel. It is really good stuff. So if you're not going to pay for anything, at least listen to that. That is really, really cool stuff about content creation, marketing, running campaigns. She was involved with the Mark Wicks campaign. I believe she's involved with Larry Sharp for 2018. It's good stuff. Okay, I'm rambling. Last step. Okay. Run for office. Now, I'm saying run for office. Maybe you are saying, Aaron, I can't run for office. All right? That's fine. But find somebody that shares your ideology and is familiar with the local issues and hopefully is a libertarian. Somebody from your chapter or somebody through your network that you can maybe convert or something to that nature and run a campaign. Now, the next time that this is going to happen is 2019. Right now I'm saying all this stuff, it's August of 2017. So you can see how all of this is going to take time. Your next meeting might be in mid-September, okay? So at this time, you might feel like you have nothing to do. Maybe if there's some stories in the newspaper, you can start with that. Go ahead and look for a page that's out there that's similar to what I'm saying start in your community. Look and see if there's already one there. If there's not, go ahead and start it. Go ahead and put some graphics together, which can be real simple. Again, look at Concerned Citizens of Collinsville page on Facebook. It's just kind of pictures from the community so people can identify. They know it's their area, right? Go ahead and get that started. Maybe share a couple news stories from the local paper about stuff going on in your town or district or whatever. And then, kind of slow roll into all this stuff. But by, I think it's going to be, late December of 2018 is the filing deadline for running for office. So between now and then is when you have to build a following. You have to know what offices are up for election. You have to know who's in the seats that are coming up for election and if you agree with them or not, and then where to concentrate your effort. And then you can get on the ballot. It's really easy to file for these. Now, I don't want to say really easy because we lost a couple of people. One of the guys in our chapter, we couldn't get him on the ballot. We ran into some difficulties there, and then I have another friend from another town who tried to get on the ballot, and he was kicked off the ballot. So it's not super easy, but I mean, if you follow, you can get on the ballot is what I'm saying, okay? Much easier than you can at the state level. Now, I've said in the past, I want to see people run for state representative. I don't want to spot the status quo the next 2 years. However, we're not really doing that. If you follow this plan and act locally and build up this experience and then help out with the statewide campaigns that we have going on, or, if you're John Eldon Matthey or Chris Howick or one of those guys and you're dead set on running for state representative, hey, do that, okay? Get a team together and make that happen. Run next year. That'll be great. I'm completely down with that. But this same kind of thing applies. If you're going to run, if you're going to run for state rep, you need to know what your state rep is voting for. You need to know what issues voters don't agree with you with. Now, another thing is when you start to do this kind of thing, people that come on your page, they'll start telling you what they care about, right? They might comment on your thing and say, oh, I think this is important. Well, then once you have that, then you can adjust your messaging basically using what they told you to an extent. Okay, and I'll get into that later. So I'm kind of going long here. Where are we at? Gosh, we're at 26 minutes. Okay, I want to reiterate that what we need to do is... Where is it? All right. If you have an idea for a video and you want a topic covered and you think I'll do a good job at it, which I won't, go ahead and send me a message. Let me know that that's what you're thinking. Again, go to Claire Ball's campaign website, make a donation as soon as you watch this video. I'm telling you, your money is going to a good place. Right now, they're buying campaign materials and they're doing campaign stops already. They're going to be marching in a parade tomorrow, and then following tomorrow, they have multiple other engagements coming up in the next week. So this is a good investment for you. This is a good place to put your dollars. Give her $3, give her $10. Just give her something. You're not going to be disappointed in this campaign. I guarantee it. Can't stress that enough. All right. Like I said, if you have an idea for a video, shoot me a message. I'll cover the topic. I think the next video I'm going to do maybe Sunday night. I'm going to do something on the soda tax up in Chicago, which has really got me upset, and there's some surrounding issues around that I want to talk about. But yeah, man, until then, let me check the chat. I got no questions in chat. So I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you next time.